Hello, everyone. So we continue with our series, and today is the next most important part, essentially, when starting to present session, which is to actually set your vision. So this will be broken actually in two parts. One is the rationale and process of understanding how you set your vision, and then it's also a part about how to actually write your vision. So I think whenever we see visions out there, it gets confusing and can also get very much unclear what a vision really is. But from my perspective, at least, a vision is always a blueprint for all the decisions. So what it really does is that it allows for very, very clear decision making. So for me, I always, when I set a vision, then the subsequent part is the fact that I ask myself, does this decision I'm about to make match my vision? If the answer is yes, then you can proceed. If the answer is maybe, then you can evaluate it. If the answer is no, then you can scrub it. But this is the rationale behind the vision and having it there. It leads you, it gives you direction into the things that you do. Now, the thing is, when you set a vision, you need to have some key elements that are part of it. We like to call them pillars. In EYP, you can call them key parts, whatever you want. But the key point here is that the vision needs to be revolved around you. And I think I need to establish that like from very, very early on, that it cannot be an abstract idea, or rather it can, but it shouldn't be an abstract idea of the things you imagine and everything that you feel around you, that everything is great. No, you need to ask yourself some questions when setting a vision. And these questions for myself are, what am I passionate about? What can others learn being around me? What can I actively teach others? Where am I excelling? So the vision would have to be revolved around you as a person, because you are the person that's going to try and implement this vision. For example, in my case, I could never have a pillar in my vision about mental health because I do not suffer, or I never suffered from any mental health problems. And I cannot claim that I can help someone else as well deal with such problems in the process. What my visions, and if you see like past sessions I also presided, including LNC, they're always focused either around my work, which is very much focused on the NGO and capacity building area, project management and people management. So there's always an element of that. And the other thing, it's a lot about this excitement about life, curiosity, and exploring more things, because these are very big elements of who I am. So when setting your vision, it's very important to take a step back and ask yourself, who am I, and what can others really learn from me? And with that, it will allow you to have a much clearer image. The other part I'm just establishing here is also that 2 to 3 key elements are more than enough when setting a vision. Sure, you're a multifaceted person, you probably have a lot of layers, but it's also super important not to overwhelm everyone from the beginning with these layers. Now, the other thing that is we're moving forward is how to actually set the vision, getting specific with it. So you have your overall vision and you break it down into the key concepts. If you want to actually execute your vision, you need to keep that breakdown. So, for example, if your overall vision is, let's say having a unified officials team, and then that is broken down into team leaders leading other teams, into having internal body groups, and then perhaps the other idea is into interact with delegates. Cool. We have 3 points here, but they're not enough. It doesn't really tell us anything. So what you have to do is actually break things down. And I'd like to show you an example of that from something that we plan on doing. So, for example, one of the vision ideas for me is self growth. So self growth, I think it comprises of 2 components, which is lack of supervision and taking initiative. And then, for example, one of the activities that we're going to be doing about the lack of supervision is giving a free evening for my chairs. So the board will be away for the entire evening, and the chairs have to self manage any problems that arise. So this is a very good example, essentially, of how the process would go. So every time you have your concept, you break it down to focus points, and then you break it down to multiple actions that can achieve this focus point. Now, before ending, I'd like to give some tips on when you create your own vision. Of course, as I said already, it has to be revolved around who you are, not who you want to be. Super important and vital. The other thing is that the more realistic it is, the more likely it is to happen. So staying within reality terms. And the last 2 parts is that it's an alive process, so it keeps moving and it doesn't have to be predefined 10 months ago. But also that if you don't know how to execute something in your vision, it's better not to have it there. So yes, these are my 2 cents about the vision making, and the next part is about writing it.